Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dad here. For today, we have in the show, I mean, what can I say? We have the incredible, the amazing, the badass, the superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Cat. How are you today?
Oh, good. How are you, Dan?
Fantastic. I mean, what better way to have an incredible super day than to be chatting with someone as badass as you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Thank you. It's great to talk to you too on today.
There you go. I love it. Now, before we start, I do want to thank those who are tuning in. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're going to find all of Cat's social media. Let's follow her. And
Oh,
now, let's discover why she's super badass, right? Now, without further more, let's jump in here. So I want to start this whole amazing conversation by throwing out the first question, which is, what drew you into acting in the first place? Like, was there a moment or experience in life that made you realize, you know what? This is it.
well, actually, I grew up, my whole family grew up doing theater. So my brother's an actor too in New York City, where we're based. And we both kind of just followed our parents to rehearsals as kids, and we just grew up doing community theater, and then we both went to school for theater. So it there wasn't kind of ever like, oh, that's the thing moment, because it was just kind of always the thing that we did. So it was kind of a no-brainer. It was like, of course we're going to be actors because that's what we do. It was just kind of, yeah, unusual but fun.
That's badass. Just saying. That's pretty cool. You know,
Thanks.
and it also like I have discovered that whenever you just kind of like it happens like somewhere around your life, sometimes life will be telling you like where to go if you kind of pay attention to it, you know? And
Mhm.
if you do the other way around, you will be receiving like a lot of messages that perhaps, switch to something else, you know? And
Exactly. Yeah.
it's it's cool that on your case you have everything kind of already established like where to go. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, definitely. And
Yeah.
it's nice because our parents are very supportive of
Yeah.
us, in the
Yeah,
career.
and also, I mean, they know the business, so that's
Yeah.
like another pro, right? I mean, they will know like where to go, where not to go, what to do, what you should never do. So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. And focusing a little bit more on your acting career here, tell me, like, how do you approach preparing for a new role? I mean, is there like a specific technique going on or method that at least
Um,
to you it's like super effective?
For me, I would say that it depends on the role.
Yeah.
So I don't have like a set technique or a method that I do for every single one. It's not like I plug them in and like, go with my whatever the routine is. I'll say that the script is usually very important to me as an actor. I had a lot of classical training with Shakespeare and stuff, so I think I really look into the script as my all of my clues to unlock. So usually I'll go text first to try to find everything that the writer's trying to tell me about the character, and then with any luck, with rehearsal and with conversations with the director and the other actors, you kind of discover more along the way. But I'd say diving into the text first and then figuring out what's under the surface for me
Hmm.
beyond that.
Tell me, is there a particular genre or type of character that you haven't portrayed yet, but you would love to explore that anytime in the near future?
You know, I've only done a little of these, but I think they're really in my wheelhouse, and I think high concept.
Mm.
Um, I fit really well in like fantasy and sci-fi and horror. And I've touched on those roles, but I just want more. It's so fun, and I like heightened dialogue and situations, and
Hmm.
those are really what gets me excited.
I love it. I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe at some point you will have your own action figure.
Yeah, oh, that would be so cool.
That would be cool, right? One time I knew someone who was on the Mandalorian show, right?
Oh, cool.
And he told me that during, like between fight scenes and everything and everyone shooting and everything, even though that he had the helmet on, it was inevitable for him whenever they will say like action, when he was like apparently shooting, he will
Mhm.
say pew 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 pew. You know, like it was inevitable to him because he was like, this is so cool, and because he was wearing the helmet,
No
nobody
one, no one can hear.
nobody knew. Yeah, so he was constantly doing that like a lot, and then another one who had a helmet on, he asked him like, "Are you doing also the the pew pew?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm totally doing it too." Like, and I was like, "That's fun. That's awesome."
I've done that before. I did a pirate ballet.
Okay.
um One of my creative partners, Mary Stiegelbauer, she has a dance company called Dramatic Dance Works. She has this wonderful pirate show,
Mm.
and during the fight scenes, I would just like I would always get notes like you can't say like shing when you pull out your knife, but like I kept
Yeah.
making the sound effects because I think they're funny and like couldn't stop myself.
Yeah, it was
So
inevitable. Yeah, I mean, and like even with like A-list actors, I remember once I saw an interview with Ewan McGregor that he was telling that when he was bracing playing the role as Obi-Wan, it was inevitable that whenever the like the lightsaber was on, he was saying he will be putting the sounds like it
yeah,
was inevitable, dude, because it's the way it is. So that was cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
Well, acting is playing, right? So
Yeah. And also like the possibility you get the chance like to play basically everything. I mean, we're talking from I don't know, from police officer to alien to
mhm.
demigod to mutant to basically everything. I mean, yeah, the sky's the limit basically. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. And tell me, have you ever had a role that made a significant impact on you? And if it did that affected you somehow?
Hmm. Um, I feel like I feel like every role makes an impact in its own way. It's because I feel like when you play a role, you're unlocking a different version of yourself. You're getting to know yourself better, kind of with every role that you play, because you see yourself in situations that maybe you haven't been in. But I think personally and acting wise, I did a really lovely production of Romeo and Juliet a number of years ago. I did it a couple times. And we did it with Lincoln Center through their educational outreach program, and I was Tybalt in it, and it was cool. It was a lot of fight scenes, again, fighting. Um, but it was a beautiful production, and there was a composer at all the rehearsals. His name is Matthew Dean Marsh, and he's just exquisite. And he would underscore the show. And if a speech got just if everyone felt the heightened kind of impact of a speech in the room, sometimes they would halt and say, I think this needs to be a song. And so he would just sit and turn a speech into a song just in the rehearsal room. Is the most incredible experience. And I think from doing that show, um I think I accessed like a level of vulnerability as an actor and a person that uh I hadn't yet unlocked to that
Mhm.
degree, and it has never quite gone away. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that process was really special.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, even though that that it's kind of yeah, that it's fake, that it's not real, that you're playing something that's I mean someone that is not you. I mean, it's inevitable that pieces of that will kind of I wouldn't say hit you, but they will stay with you somehow, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. It's left an impression,
Mm-hmm.
left its mark on you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. And tell me, like how you handle the pressure and expectations when you are about to play a character.
Oh, I think if you're putting the pressure and the expectations on yourself, you got to stop that. That's going to get in your own way of you doing your job. You got the role for a reason. You have to trust yourself that the work that you've done is just going to be there for you on set. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think any sort of stress and self-reflection to that degree might be detrimental and get in the way of you doing the job in on set that day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Easier said than done. I think also, if your nerves are just acting up that day, then you're gonna have to find yourself in a private area, maybe take a meditation break, take a second away from all the fun set chatter that can be happening if you're gonna have to go in and have a really emotional scene. But if the crew is laughing and joking about something, you can't really join in until after that
No.
stuff. You have to take care of yourself. And if the pressure's coming externally, if the pressures are from the director or producers or other people, I'm not sure. In that situation, I think you just have to communicate to make sure that you're doing your job as best that you can and they're getting everything that they need from you. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it. I'll take it for sure. And what do you think that is one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about actors?
I would say the biggest misconception is that an actor always has a monologue ready to show you. I feel like when you
Mm.
meet I also bartend, so I meet a lot of people that suddenly find out I'm an actor. And it's either, oh, can you do something for me? Not while I'm bartending. Or you get,
Yeah.
have I seen you in anything? I think it's like the
Mm.
assumption that they would have seen you in anything, and it's like, well, I don't know how many black boxes have you been in? How many indies have you seen?
Yeah. Mm.
So
Mm.
I think that's the biggest misconception is that everyone might be recognizable. You might not recognize someone that has a very sustaining career, but
Yeah.
you your audience.
That happens to me on the podcast whenever someone will ask me like what kind of podcast I have, and I will say, yeah, I interview actors.
Yeah,
They always ask me the same question, which is who's the most famous?
yeah, it's
Happens,
interesting.
you
It's
know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's uh that desire for connection, right? People are like, who would I know that you have spoken to, which is
Mm-hmm.
that cool thing for them.
Yeah. And usually what I tell them is that, well, it depends. And they're like, what do you mean? Yeah, I mean, if you like indie stuff, or if you like short film stuff, or if you like,
Hmm.
yeah, like regular TV show stuff,
Yeah,
have
if you watch Netflix or if you watch, yeah,
that's up to you, you
watch the
know?
Sundance Channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And moving a little bit forward here. Now, besides being an incredible, super badass actress, we all know that, you're also a super badass model and painter. So let's talk about both here, but let's just focus a little bit first on modeling. Tell me
Sure.
also like how it all started, like what triggered everything to also, besides being super badass in acting, become super badass in modeling.
Yeah, that's a great question. I started modeling when I first moved to New York. I'd always been interested in it, but I just hadn't done it before. So when I moved to New York, I made myself a Model Mayhem account and I just started doing test shoots with photographers. I would sign up for castings and you pretty quickly learn what to look for uh in a job to go for it or to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of trial by fire there, just tried and kept going. And then, if you find a photographer you like or a brand that likes you and you work with them, keep working with them. I early in my modeling career, I had a bunch of photographer friends that loved shooting together. And so if they ever and I liked their images. So if they ever texted me and said, I have an idea, can we do it? It doesn't pay. I'd be like, yes, I will do a shoot with you because you have the X factor, which I know I love the images we get, and you give them to me. You don't always get your images, which is
You don't?
no.
I didn't
Sometimes
know that.
you have to hound people to get the images. It's like you have to decide if it's worth the effort or not. It's silly. Sometimes you have to screenshot it off of Instagram, and that's how you'll get it in your portfolio. But
Oh, okay. So that makes
so
sense why they will.
weird.
Okay, so that makes sense why they will be taking pictures. Oh, I see it now. I get it.
Hmm.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yes, sometimes it's
Oh,
really hard. And it could be just that people are busy, or it could be that they didn't enjoy how the photos turned out, or, they don't
yeah.
care. So, you know, but yeah, that's how my modeling journey started. And then yeah, I kept working. I still mostly work freelance for modeling, and I've done a bunch of I've done some New York Fashion Weeks, and I've walked in shows, and I've done fashion modeling mostly. I
Mm.
also do some art modeling and things like that, but it's a ton of fun. It's like you're telling a little story, and then the photo shoot's done.
And tell me, like, how do you navigate the highs and the lows of the
Mhm.
modeling industry?
Um, Truly. I feel like modeling for me is fun.
Mm,
I know that I am good at it, and it is fun. If I don't book something, I don't really care because I know they probably just wanted a brunette. It's like
totally.
modeling for me has always been okay, like one to the next kind of for me. Um, I'd say that acting highs and lows have always been more difficult to manage because um, with the intense amount of internal reflection that you do as an actor, to learn yourself over and over
Totally.
and to discover more things about yourself, um, it can feel so much more detrimental and personal when you get
Mm,
a no when it's acting. Um, but getting kind of to that place that I am with modeling, that I am now with acting. So it being a little more just wasn't the right fit is very important. But I'd say if an actor, or when I find that I myself am struggling with the highs and the lows, I love making my own work. I think it's vital. I think artists need to make their own work, especially actors. It's a field where we feel like everyone else holds the power,
mhm.
um, which is kind of by design. I feel like that's the way the industry has worked in the past. However, you have every capability of being a storyteller because you are one, right? So I'd say that whenever I feel restless or I feel I haven't acted in a while, I'm going a little nuts. Um, I start writing and I either do a photo shoot for myself or I figure out a scene or a film with friends and we shoot it and I edit it, and then I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like, okay, now I feel productive and I've done it all.
Totally.
And you don't necessarily have to be productive too. There's a toxic productiveness that can happen when you're an artist. I think give yourself an outlet that makes you feel calmed and centered. For me, that I like archery. Archery is like a great meditation. It's like a lot of I feel so calm after I've gone to the range. So find something that gives you like a little a little grace and settlement.
That's badass.
Thanks. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, became very very in love with it very quickly. The first time my fiance Ian took me, we did an intro class and then we signed up for a private lesson, and the next time we were at the range I was buying a bow. I was like, uh-oh.
I'm going all the way. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool. That's
we
epic.
both went all the way. We have our bows in
Mm-hmm.
the bedroom.
That's cool.
Yeah,
So you have swords and you have bows.
we do. Yeah. In the same laundry bin, believe it or
There
not.
you go. That's epic. And tell me how you handle the whole rejection side. It happens either in acting, modeling, it happens. So how you stay positive, or no, I would say like how you stay, yeah, like how you manage to that rejection not affected you somehow. Because no, I mean nobody likes being rejected, right? So how
Yeah.
you stay positive, let's say, or how you or how you're like, what, doesn't bother me. I will just keep moving forward and yeah, the way it is.
I'd say, luckily, I feel like I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with sending in a submission, sending in the callback, and then just going, and then it's done. Whatever. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect. Um, but there are those jobs that are just more exciting or more engaging immediately than others, and when you don't get those, yeah, those
Sting.
they sting. And even if you can logically tell yourself like, oh, you know ugh,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Mm-hmm.
so hard, it's so hard. I have been told, I wrote the role for you but we need a name, and that's just like it stings. And the only thing you can do is maybe do something that you enjoy that day and let yourself be sad. Like you can't pretend that you're not sad, otherwise you're going to just like destroy yourself. I
Yeah.
think let yourself be sad, let yourself mourn your excitement for that thing, and then move on. But there will always be the ones that like hurt a little, but I think you have to just it wasn't for you then. And nothing that is for you is going to move past you. You know,
Totally.
the things that
Mhm.
you are undeniable for are going to be yours. So that is comforting.
Yeah, I mean, life has mysterious ways.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know, you never know. But you know, it's true. I do like, yeah, I do like the way you think about, it did, yeah. So you go for it. Wasn't for you. Wasn't meant for you. You sure
Mhm.
you feel a little bit bummed out for a while, and then okay, that's good. Moving forward, because it's true. I mean, I do think also that it is okay for us to feel sad every now and then. We're humans, and I do think sometimes the whole media about that they will tell you like, no, stop being sad, or being like that. I'm more like, no, you're
Yeah.
human. We'll have emotions. If you want to feel sad, go for it. But of course, don't stay in that area for a
Mhm.
while. I mean, it's normal for you to feel sad or angry. I mean, sure, go for it. It's healthy because, as you mentioned, if you hold all of those emotions, one day you're gonna explode.
I
You know what
know,
I
yeah.
mean?
If you
Yeah.
bottle them up, yeah, the pressure inside yourself, and yeah, it's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
go well for you.
No, absolutely. And yeah, no, not at all. So yeah, I like it. And tell me, what role do you believe storytelling plays in society? And how do you see the actor's role in shaping narratives?
Ooh, I think the storyteller's role in society is a vital one. I think it is in essence one of the most human things.
Hmm.
Right? Every culture has storytelling. There's always been gathering. There's always been warnings, and you know, some of it comes down to survival, and some of it comes down to entertainment. Luckily, mostly we're talking about entertainment these days, but you never know. Um, I think that it is important to hold the mirror up to nature, right?
Yeah.
You you have to show someone it 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 encourages empathy, I feel. And people learn things that they would otherwise not experience by seeing it in a movie, in a TV show, in a play. They get to see a different perspective. And I think that's incredibly vital to being an empathetic and caring human towards one another.
Yeah, absolutely. I could totally understand that. And like, how do you stay inspired? Like what motivates you? Like what keeps you on spot, let's say.
Ooh, okay. So I think doing a lot of different things is a lot of fun. So for me, sometimes I'm getting into a new craft or a new hobby, or I start a new painting. I do
Mm.
something that gets me kind of immediate fun and busy, and that's a lot of that's engaging to me. I think staying inspired career-wise can be slightly different because sometimes you have those hiccups, and it can be exhausting and tiring to keep moving. So um I try to find new podcasts. I like finding new business or acting or film podcasts that I think are inspiring, and I put those on. Just unlocking as many different perspectives and experiences that I can. I think I find that really fun.
That's cool. Or
Yeah.
you can just shoot some arrows and
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, that's a given.
that's badass. I love it. And talking a little bit now about your incredible, I mean, we also know that you're a super badass painter. Tell me, like, what routines, or is there like any rituals or routines that kind of inspire you, in order for you, like, for you to start painting, or like what is your thing here that clicks everything for you, and you just start going for it?
Oh, for painting?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, usually I feel a little drawn to an image in my mind for like a couple days before I'll start a painting. I usually won't not have an idea before I go to canvas. But uh, if I do desperately want to paint and I don't know what to paint, I'll sit ready with the canvas in front of me and my oil paints, and I'm ready to go. And I'll flip through old sketchbooks to see if there's something that I had drawn once that could maybe be a painting, or I will put on I'll put on anime because I find I'm really drawn to like bright, exciting colors, and a lot of
Hmm.
anime, it's just like visually I find exciting and inspiring. Um, or I'll put on, a playlist that just like always makes me excited, and then I'll just kind of see what happens.
Mm.
But yeah, you have to force yourself. You have to be there ready though. You can't just do it when your paint isn't set up. Like if you're set up, then there's no excuse. Once you get inspired, you got to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, totally, totally. And would you for example, let's say that I want to start painting. Would you
Mhm.
recommend for me to start taking classes or just go for it?
I mean, I would say why not go for it?
Mm.
You will learn so much in a class. Classes are so valuable. And if you feel like you don't know where to start, I would say take a class, sure, because then you'll know what everything in front of you is. Um, yeah, when I was starting oil painting, I watched Bob Ross videos, and I put on YouTube painters, and I would watch like, oh, what is this medium? What is that? And I would have people, you have to learn the tools before you can do it. But as far as figuring out the shapes and what you want to paint, go for it.
No, I mean at the end it's art, and at the end everyone has like a different meaning to it, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I'll tell you
Yeah.
what,
Thanks.
if I ever become a famous painter, I'll be mentioning you on my thank you speech, on my memoirs, or whenever I read a book or something. Who knows?
I'm honored. Thank you.
There you go. Or check this out. I will be putting this picture, but they will have like a subliminal message to it inside of it, in which when you take a look at it, it will be saying like this wouldn't have been possible without Cat's advice.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate that. What are those ones where you get really close to it and then like you
Yeah.
pull it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something like that, or if you flip it around or try to move it, oh, okay, I see the message now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool. And tell me, like, for for either for painting, modeling,
Mhm.
acting, if you could collaborate with any, I don't know, painter or photographer or director, writer,
Mm.
anyone you like, either living or deceased, who would it be and why?
Um, oh gosh, the list is long. Um, a director, I really like Mike Flanagan. I like I liked Hush a lot, and I liked Haunting of Hill House. I love his work. Feel like he would be a lot of fun to work with as a director. Um, an actor, I would love to work with Killian Murphy. I mean, I've only recently started Peaky Blinders for the first time, and
Oh,
I'm
mwah,
ah,
incredible.
it's
Yeah.
so good. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I know everyone calls him an actor's actor, and I love the idea of how much to challenge a partner in an acting scene, because he is so available and he is so present, and he has such depth to him. I would love to play opposite him in a scene.
That show, it's incredible. It's epic. I love it. In which season are you?
I'm only season one. I'm only a couple
Oh,
episodes in. I'm
oh,
like fresh. Yeah, it's
yeah,
very exciting.
yeah. It's incredible. I mean, I saw the whole show, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was amazing. I mean, like the whole costumes to it and the whole dialogue and the whole acting to it. I mean, definitely it's one of my best shows of all time for sure.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I am enjoying it
Yeah, you're
immensely.
gonna love it. Yeah, for sure. That has a badass seal of approval for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Between that, Breaking Bad for sure, Better Call Saul absolutely,
Hmm.
and I'm a little bit. I mean, I want to give that to Vikings
Oh, I haven't watched Vikings yet.
and Game of Thrones, but mm,
Yeah, not
it's.
there for you yet.
I
Yeah.
mean, I. I watch both,
Hmm.
but man,
They just didn't get you the way. Yeah.
they were, but at some point, like you gotta be kidding. Yeah, like for example, like with The Walking Dead, I used to be a huge fan of The Walking Dead, loved it,
Yeah.
but then at some point I was like, okay, this is getting, I was like, like with, like,
Yeah.
has that happened to you that suddenly you're like, eh,
Yeah,
you know?
suddenly you fall off a show that you were like really invested in, and
Yeah,
it's you can't quite put your finger on it. And it could just be that it feels formulaic, right? Like it's just doing the same thing over and over, or
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. A show that I started to watch recently is Barry.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
It's
Yeah,
fun. I mean,
everyone says it's
yeah,
fantastic.
it's a dark comedy for sure, but it
Yeah.
has, it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting the way that so we had like this hitman who suddenly wants to become an actor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Such a great concept. Yeah.
So that's cool. So
Yeah.
yeah. And tell me, now that we have been talking a little bit about shows and things like that,
Hmm.
if your life were a sitcom, what would be the title? But who would play the fictional version of yourself?
I think the best I could think of is This Will Be Fine.
I'll take it.
And I think Maya Hawke, I would love to play me. I get her all the time. People ask while I'm bartending if I'm Maya Hawke, and I'm like, no. No, I'm not Maya Hawke
Yeah.
working in the East Village.
Or next time you could say, I am preparing for a role in which I will be
Yeah, right. I
bartending.
just bamboozle them completely.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'll take it. This
Yeah.
will, yeah, okay. And what about describing your whole either acting, modeling, and painting career, but you know what, this time on a drink? So, which drink would you say that fits perfectly, or if we have to create one, sure, that will sum up all of your careers?
Mm. Okay. Well, it's definitely going to be a mixed drink because I do so many different freelance jobs. So I'm going to say probably um we have a drink at my bar called a Barely Illegal, and it's mezcal and it's pineapple juice and it's
No.
a peppercorn syrup and lime juice and bitters. And I'm going to say that sounds about right because there's a lot of sweet, there's a lot of spicy, there's a lot of smoky, and there's some ice to chill it down. So I think that sounds about right.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay.
Yeah. Also,
And
try mixing it. It's really good.
you know what? The weekend is almost there, so who knows? I'm just saying. Since I'm on holidays,
Yeah, you are. You're on your
who
2 week.
yeah, so who knows?
Perfect.
I might have one when we end this. We'll see what happens. I love it. Um, and like in general, like what motivates you? We all have those days
Hmm.
that we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So, what keeps you going, basically?
Um, I think for me it's just acting and being an artist is so deeply ingrained in what I do. I don't necessarily ever think about quitting, but what keeps me as active as I am in forward momentum, um, I don't know. It may be a bit of my existential crisis. It the desire to tell a story, to speak and be heard, right? I think that might be it. I just desperately want to do more always. I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I mean it is, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It seems so vital. It seems
Yeah.
very important to to do to
Yeah.
me.
And I mean
Yeah.
exactly. I mean it is to you and I think that is yeah, that is important to just go for it and stay focused to it. And of course there's those days in which you wanna, quit a little bit. But
Yeah,
as
or you get
as
frustrated. You lose out on a
yeah,
role and you're having a down day.
yeah.
But you know, those days are the days that I sit down and I work on a project that I put on the back burner. You know what I mean? If
No.
someone else's project isn't going to work for you, then that's the time to maybe reinvest in your own. So,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah. I
But you were
usually,
saying life puts you in a direction, you know, maybe
yeah,
it's telling you really reinvest in your own voice.
yeah, absolutely. I like it. And you know what? My final question, so we can all relax after a couple of difficult, amazing questions here and there. So here it is.
Okay.
What do you think that could be, that would be, or that could be, yeah, the best title for this episode?
Oh, that question stumped me when I was reading it. I think I might have to listen back to our questions to see if anything stands out to me. Mm, yeah, maybe something like let's just try this. I feel like trying new things is so important.
Let's just try this. I'll take it.
Yeah, right? Because I
Yeah.
feel like, you know, everything is connected. To me, acting, modeling, painting, it's all the same thing. It all feeds each other and
hmm
me as an artist and an actor and you know, when you invest in yourself as a person and learn as much as you can and go on adventures and have experiences, you're only making yourself a stronger, more filled artist. You're only filling that, you know, arsenal for yourself.
Totally.
So I feel like yeah, learning new skills and and rounding yourself out is super important.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end, yeah, let's just try this.
Yeah,
Yeah. I would love to people start thinking like that, to
I agree.
let's
Yeah.
just try this. I mean, especially these days now,
Yeah.
to to so they can
Yeah.
start something new. I mean, you never know. And I hate whenever someone will be saying like, yeah, but what if I'm not good at it? And whenever they will say me that, I will be like, but how can you know that if you haven't even tried it yet? You know what I mean? So
Yes, exactly. It's so important to try and to risk and to let yourself fail boldly because you learn from it and then you become better at it. Um,
hmm
I have my friend, another creator, filmmaker, actor, wonderful, talented person, Michaela McIntosh. She came to me a couple months ago asking to collaborate on a project together, and she was like, "I have an idea for a series. Like, what do you think? Do you want to work on it together?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And you know, it at this point we've written a pilot episode and we're submitting it and we're talking about pitching it, and it's like you have to take the risk to say yes even if you're a little uncertain or worried because if you do what you've always done you're going to get what you've always gotten,
mm,
right?
yeah,
You need to
that's
risk.
true. Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I remember when I started this platform, I mean, I started this due to an existential crisis, basically. you know because of this
Yeah.
idea, that it was questioning me over and over, like, is this life? You know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna be spending my life working in a company for 30-40 years. One day they're gonna fire me because I'm old. They're gonna put someone younger, and then at some point it's gonna even, I mean, and even yeah, at some point it's gonna look that I never worked there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
were you ever there?
yeah, and I was like keep hitting my head with that, like, so is this gonna be about, what I mean? Like, but what about actors? What about musicians, models, writers, painters, photographers, everyone who is like following like the different path? I mean, I don't, I was thinking like, I don't see myself I mean, I don't think Tom Cruise is having like a 9 to 5 job, and then on the weekends he will be planning the
Yeah.
next Mission Impossible, for example. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so by researching and doing this whole platform, this whole podcast, I have discovered that the key is just go for it, just do it. Just if you have a
Yeah.
passion to it, try it, and if you don't like it along the way, fine, search something new. I think
Yeah.
that's like the beauty of life, and also the beauty of yeah, of like life itself, that every new day we have the opportunity to start over.
Yeah, oh, I completely
You
agree.
know?
Yes, and not being afraid to start over if you face it and you realize, oh, that's the option. Sometimes the change is so scary, but you just have to leap, and it's
Yeah, and sometimes you need it, sometimes you actually need that for sure. And also
Mhm.
to enjoy every day, over the past, yeah, like over the past few months, a lot of people that I've known have died. And like
Yes.
younger, older, and I'm like, oh, like this is really, like this is really happening. And also it kind of shows me that you never know, like you never know
Yes.
when could be your last day. So make sure that, or at least that's what I try, that every new day I'll do everything that I possibly wanted, and to enjoy
Mhm.
everything every way that I could, because you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I I completely agree. I very carefully did not mention that when you said what keeps you moving forward, but it is a real thing in that, like, you know,
No.
people die a lot every
Yeah.
day,
Hmm.
like there really is nothing to lose. You shouldn't waste any time making your life exactly what you want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, enjoy, live life, live a little.
Yeah.
There you
Yes.
go. Live a little. I like it. I mean, at the end, what can I say? The fact that you're pursuing everything that that you love, that fuels you in order for you to keep moving forward, it is incredible. But also, it shows that everything's possible. And I think that's the amazing part, that you are showing at the end of the day that you can do whatever you want, and it is possible for doing it, and you can actually get results from doing it. So that is
Yeah.
incredible. And yeah, I mean, people. Yeah, like people should look more at that instead of the whole craziness that is happening outside and being angry all the time, things like that.
Yeah.
It's good that we have people like you who are showing us that, hey, instead of doing that, you can actually follow your passion and make it happen. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's vital.
there you go. I love it. And also I want to thank those who are tuning in. Thank you so much. Now, because I mean, now that we find out why Cat is super badass, now we can follow her. I mean, let's make her viral again. Hashtag Team Cat. And again, Cat, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep rocking out there. Keep shining. Keep being super badass. And I'll be seeing you the next one then.
Yeah, I'll see you the next one, Dan.
All right.